The new pet. One day, a man named Tom was in his house, and his house was very, very quiet. Tom lived alone, and the quiet was a big, empty sound. He would eat breakfast alone, he would watch television alone, and he would go to sleep in the quiet house. Sometimes this was okay, but today the quiet felt too big. Tom sat on his sofa and looked around the room. He saw a chair, but no one was in the chair. He saw a table, but no one was at the table. He listened. He could not hear a sound, only the small tick-tock of the clock on the wall. Tick-tock, tick-tock, it was a lonely sound. Tom thought to himself, I need a friend. I need someone in this house with me. He thought about a friend who would be happy to see him. He thought about a friend who would make noise, a happy noise. He thought, and then he had a very good idea. I will get a pet, he said out loud. His voice was a surprise in the quiet room. A pet would be a good friend. A pet would not leave him alone. But what kind of pet? He thought about a cat. A cat is nice and soft. A cat can sit on your lap. But a cat is also very quiet sometimes. Tom wanted happy noise. He thought about a bird. A bird can sing a beautiful song. But a bird lives in a cage, and Tom wanted a friend to walk with him. Then he thought about a dog. A dog. Yes, a dog was the perfect idea. A dog can run and play. A dog can bark a happy bark when Tom comes home. A dog can go for walks in the park. Tom smiled. It was a big, happy smile. He felt excited. The quiet in the house did not feel so big anymore, because now the house was full of a happy idea. He stood up from the sofa. He had a plan. First, a new pet needs things. A pet needs a place to sleep. A pet needs a place to eat and drink. A pet needs a toy to play with. So, Tom decided to go to the pet store. He put on his shoes. He put on his coat. He took his keys from the table. He opened the door and went outside. The sun was warm on his face. It felt like a happy day. He got into his car and started to drive to the pet store. The store was not far away. As he drove, he thought about the dog. Would it be a big dog or a small dog? Would it have long fur or short fur? What color would it be? He did not know, but he was excited to find out. He arrived at the pet store. The sign on the store was big and blue. It had a picture of a happy dog and a happy cat. Tom parked his car and walked to the door. He opened the door and a small bell rang. A woman at the counter smiled and said, "Hello, welcome." The store was full of wonderful things. There were so many colors and so many sounds. He could hear birds singing in their cages. He could see bright fish swimming in their tanks. It was a busy, happy place. Tom walked down an aisle. This aisle was for dog things. He looked for a bed. He saw many beds. There was a big red bed. There was a small blue bed. There was a soft brown bed. He thought about a small dog, a puppy maybe. So he picked up the small blue bed. It was very soft. He pressed his hand into it. Yes, this was a good bed. A puppy would be very comfortable here. He put the soft blue bed into his shopping basket. Next, he needed bowls, a bowl for water and a bowl for food. He walked to the next aisle. There were so many bowls. Metal bowls, plastic bowls, red bowls, green bowls. He saw 2 matching bowls. They were blue, just like the bed. One bowl had a picture of a water drop on it. The other bowl had a picture of a little bone on it. These are perfect, Tom thought. He picked them up. They were light and smooth. He put the two blue bowls into his shopping basket with the soft blue bed. Now he needed food. This was difficult. There were so many bags of food. Food for big dogs, food for small dogs, food for old dogs, and food for puppies. He saw a small bag with a picture of a happy puppy on it. The bag said puppy food in big letters. This was the right one. He picked up the small bag of food. It was not too heavy. He put it in his basket. Finally, a toy. A puppy needs a toy to play with. He went to the toy aisle. It was the most fun aisle in the store. There were balls of every color. There were squeaky toys that made a funny noise. There were rope toys for pulling. Tam saw a small, red ball. It was a simple ball, but it looked like fun. He could throw the ball, and the puppy could run and get it. He picked up the red ball. It was soft and easy to hold. He put the red ball in his basket. His basket was full now. It had a bed, 2 bowls, a bag of food, and a toy. He felt ready. He walked to the front of the store. He put the things on the counter. The woman smiled at him. "Are you getting a new friend?" she asked. "Yes," said Tom. "I am getting a puppy today." The woman was very happy for him. "That is wonderful," she said. She scanned all the items. Tom paid for everything. He put the bed, the bowls, the food, and the toy into a big bag. He said thank you and goodbye to the woman. He walked out of the store. The little bell on the door rang again. He put the bag in his car and drove away from the pet store. Now it was time for the most important part. It was time to find his new friend. He knew a place called the animal shelter. The animal shelter was a home for animals that did not have a home. Good people worked there and took care of them. Tom drove his car to the animal shelter. He felt a little nervous now, but also very, very excited. He parked his car and walked to the building. It was a clean, simple building with a big yard. He could hear dogs barking inside. Some barks were big and some barks were small. He opened the door and went inside. A kind man with a friendly face said hello. "I would like to see the puppies," Tom said. The man smiled. "Of course," he said. "Come with me." He led Tom down a long hallway. There were many rooms with big windows. Behind the windows were dogs. Big dogs, small dogs, brown dogs, black dogs, white dogs. They were all waiting for a new home. Some of them jumped and barked when they saw Tom. They looked excited. Tom smiled at them all. Then the man opened a door to a special room. "This is the puppy room," he said. The room was warm and full of soft blankets. There were a few small puppies playing together. They were so small and so cute. Tom's heart felt very warm. He watched the puppies play. One puppy was black with white spots. Another puppy was all white and very fluffy. Then Tom saw him. In a corner, all by himself, was a small puppy. He was a light brown color, the color of honey. He had big, dark eyes and floppy ears. He was not playing with the others. He was just sitting and watching. He looked a little sad and a little shy. Tom felt something special for this little puppy. He walked slowly to the puppy's little area. He knelt down so he was not so big and scary. The puppy looked at him with his big, brown eyes. He did not bark, he just watched Tom. "Hello there," Tom said in a very soft voice. The puppy's little tail moved just a tiny bit. It was a small wag. Tom put his hand out slowly. The puppy sniffed his fingers. He was very careful. Then he took a small step forward and licked Tom's hand with his tiny pink tongue. It was a soft, wet lick. Tom laughed a quiet, happy laugh. "You are the one," Tom whispered. He knew it. This was his dog. This shy, sweet puppy was his new friend. He looked at the man from the shelter. "I would like this one," he said, pointing to the little brown puppy. The man smiled a big, happy smile. "He is a very sweet boy," the man said. "He has been waiting for a good home." Tom went back to the front desk with the man. He had to fill out some papers. He wrote his name Tom. He wrote his address. He promised to be a good owner. He promised to take care of the puppy, to give him food and water, to take him for walks, and to give him lots of love. It took a long time to fill out all the papers, but Tom did it carefully. When he was finished, the man gave him a leash and a collar. They were small, just the right size for the puppy. They went back to the puppy room. Tom opened the little gate. He carefully put the small collar around the puppy's neck. The puppy did not mind. Then Tom attached the leash to the collar. It was time to go home. Tom picked up the puppy. He was so light and warm. The puppy snuggled into Tom's arms. He felt safe. Tom carried him out of the shelter. He said thank you to the man. All the people at the shelter waved goodbye to the puppy. They were happy he had a new home. Tom carried the puppy to his car. He opened the back door and put the soft blue bed on the seat. He gently placed the puppy on the bed. The puppy looked a little scared of the car, but he stayed on his bed. Tom got into the driver's seat. He looked back at the puppy. "We are going home now," he said in a calm voice. "You will be okay. I will take care of you." He started the car and began to drive home. He drove very slowly and very carefully. The puppy sat on his bed and looked out the window. He saw trees and houses and other cars go by. It was all new for him. After a little while, they arrived at Tom's house. Tom parked the car. He got out and opened the back door. The puppy was waiting for him. Tom unclipped the leash and carried the puppy to the front door of the house. He held the puppy in one arm and unlocked the door with his other hand. "Welcome to your new home," Tom said. He walked inside and closed the door. The house was quiet, but it was a different kind of quiet now. It was not a lonely quiet. It was a waiting quiet. Tom gently put the puppy down on the floor. The puppy stood there for a moment. He looked around the big room. His little nose started to twitch. He began to sniff everything. He sniffed the leg of the chair. He sniffed the rug on the floor. He sniffed the bottom of the sofa. He walked all around the room, sniffing and exploring. His little tail was wagging now, a real happy wag. Tom watched him and smiled. He went to the car and brought in the big bag from the pet store. He took everything out. First, he took out the 2 blue bowls. He put them on the floor in the kitchen. He opened the bag of puppy food. It made a crinkly sound. The puppy heard the sound and came running into the kitchen. His little nose was sniffing the air. Tom put a small amount of food in one of the blue bowls. Then, he filled the other blue bowl with fresh, clean water from the tap. He put both bowls on the floor. The puppy went right to the food bowl. He started to eat. He made small, happy eating sounds. Crunch, crunch, crunch. He ate all the food very fast. Then he went to the water bowl and took a long drink. Lap, lap, lap. His little pink tongue moved so quickly. When he was finished, he looked up at Tom and wagged his tail. He had a little bit of water on his nose. Tom laughed and wiped it off gently with his finger. Next, Tom took the soft blue bed out of the bag. He put it in a warm corner of the living room near the sofa. The puppy saw the bed. He walked over to it. He sniffed it. He walked around it in a circle 2 times. Then, he stepped into the bed and curled up in a little ball. He let out a big sigh, a happy, comfortable sound. He looked very cozy. Tom let him rest for a few minutes. Then he remembered the last thing in the bag, the toy. He took out the small red ball. He held it in his hand. The puppy opened his eyes and saw the ball. His ears went up. He looked very interested. He got out of his bed and came over to Tom. Tom knelt on the floor. "Do you want to play?" he asked. He gently rolled the red ball across the floor. The puppy watched it roll. Then his instincts took over. He ran after the ball. His little legs moved so fast. He caught the ball and picked it up in his mouth. He was very proud. He turned around and brought the ball right back to Tom. He dropped the ball at Tom's feet. His tail was wagging so hard that his whole body wiggled. Tom was so happy. "Good boy," he said. "You are such a good boy." He threw the ball again, a little farther this time. The puppy chased it and brought it back. They played this game again and again. Tom laughed and the puppy wagged his tail. The quiet house was now full of the happy sounds of a game. After playing for a long time, the puppy started to get tired. He yawned a big puppy yawn. Tom decided it was time for a little walk outside. He attached the leash to the puppy's collar again. "Let's go outside," he said. He opened the back door to his small yard. The yard had soft, green grass. The puppy had never felt grass before. He stepped on it carefully. Then he started to run around in circles on the grass. He was so happy. He sniffed a flower. He watched a bee fly by. He looked up at the big blue sky. Tom walked with him around the yard. The sun was starting to go down now. The sky was turning orange and pink. It was a beautiful evening. After their walk, they went back inside. The puppy was very sleepy now. He walked straight to his new blue bed. He curled up into a ball again. His eyes started to close. Tom sat on the sofa and watched him. The puppy's breathing was soft and slow. He was fast asleep. The house was quiet again. But it was not the lonely, empty quiet from before. It was a peaceful, happy quiet. It was the quiet of a home with a friend in it. Tom looked at the sleeping puppy. He still did not have a name. Tom thought for a moment. He looked at the puppy, so small and brave. He thought of a good name, a friendly name. "Max," Tom whispered. "I will call you Max." The puppy's ear twitched a little bit, but he did not wake up. Tom felt a happiness so big it filled his whole chest. He was not Tom who lived alone anymore. He was Tom, and he had a dog named Max. The quiet house was not just a house. It was a home. Tom looked at his new friend Max, sleeping safely in his little bed. He knew this was the start of a wonderful new life for both of them. He was so glad he went to the animal shelter that day. He was so glad he found this little brown puppy. The clock on the wall continued to tick, tick-tock, but it was not a lonely sound now. It was a gentle, peaceful sound in a room full of love. Tom sat on the sofa and looked at his new friend, and he knew his quiet house was now a happy home.